right now, but he picked himself up, and to his full credit, he got back on that second Aprilia and found a 1:28.97 to put himself inside the top three. There's
ride fast, finish the race well, and then again this morning, really impressive. Rear brake, a lot of people do, and he said, look, you put it on and it takes too long to adapt to using the rear brake with your thumb instead of your foot, and I completely agree with that. I did it mid-season.
Like at the old format back in the day where you had sort of 2 1-hour sessions on a Friday, he might have felt some value in having the chance without the time constraints, without the pressures of trying to get in a lap time for qualifying, to maybe do that. But I think it's gone on the winter shopping list, hasn't it, Simon? It's one of the height devices that they have to activate and engage. You know, one of the things that potentially will be distracting Alage. You can understand why they looked at it, they discussed it, but then just went, it's not for now. There's too much to take in, as you mentioned, such a short space of time.
Matt, perfect. That's exactly what I meant, because your brain is soaked up with so many other things.
Just wonder as well, Simon.
I was trying to see which chassis it was.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Taka Nakagami, unfortunately, the benefactor of all the cruel look that's gone the way of Honda riders Juan Mir and Alex Ritt and side. We've said this in commentary so often, we've talked about it as well away from the circuit. This is just happening too often. The Honda boys taking the big risks, the lap times are hard to find. You can understand why Marc Marquez is getting a little bit frustrated.
That's a Ducati part, the cover on top to help with the air.
Right now, would you in MotoGP, because they are just tearing up RC213Vs. That's Ken Di Magello after his crash in that Italian Grand Prix where he didn't feel like he was...
For a continuation. Of course, there are elements to consider from both parties, but I think this is the goal for everybody.
How close?
Team, anyway. Yeah, still a lot of rumors around, of course, because Marco's doing great. Is the guy to look at, of course, in the market. Yeah, but again, could be an option. I think the team would love it, but I have to say the team at the moment has 2 great riders, and I think they will continue with both of the riders. And Frankie wants to continue with Yamaha, so
where it's all pointing towards, and it sounds like we're not going to have to wait too long for an answer on that one, which I guess will then be being a happy Marco Bezzecchi, because it means that he will not then have to move on to Pramac. His ideal scenario, I think, would be to stay with me. We are curious to see how he fares here this weekend, because having previously missed 2 favourite tracks like Austin and Argentina, even Danny Pedrosa said, because Mark loves this track so much, this is where Mark can truly put himself and what he might be up to in 2024. Will he hang on to his seat in the Gas Tech 3 team as Mark has?
Because you need something strong enough to cope with all the lift.
Of the spine, prefer to say we need to wait a little bit more. We've been waiting already long enough, and we don't risk, even if it's 1 chance out of a million, we don't want to take it. So we have Jonas, who is doing a super good job. He's here, and if Jonas is having to be with us in Assen, it's not the end of the world. We had
tooth and nail to try and get back in Assen next weekend, but you do wonder perhaps whether just on the erring on the side of caution, where the doctors, the specialists might just say, give yourself that extra 5 weeks to come back absolutely without any fear of any. Fantastic.
If you want to see the last little bit wrung out of your bike and see what it can do, I'm pretty sure Top Rack's the man to do it.
Yeah, we'll find out soon how it stoppies and wheelers as well, won't we? That's for sure.
Yeah, wanted to do was get on a bike. It was a little dirt bike and go for a little ride slowly, just to get back on the horse. But the other thing we've all got to remember, and the reason Hervé's saying what he's saying about boring, so I better go out and dig up some interesting info, and some really interesting info did come to the surface, and one of them, which I think the video, I didn't expect it, but it's come out really good, is 130, sorry, I'm getting my numbers hooked up. The rear is from 120 to 150. And that is the ultimate.
To Buriram, to Lombok, tropical climates, scorching hot temperatures, red hot track surfaces, but you're still here.
Because they're broad harder tyres into the curb. It's quite flat, but the ripples get bigger and bigger and bigger towards the outside.
Do you know what I thought from the drone shot? I thought Marquez backed out. That's right at the bottom of the hill.
time straight.
We were on the drone shot, on the drone camera, and I was just about to say, look at that drone coverage, and you can just get a real sense of the speed that Ralph Fernandez and Marc Marquez were attacking through that fifth gear bottom left corner. They just sort of respected the bottom left.
You know, it feels really cold and obviously very slow, and then you just hope that it doesn't burst into flames like coal. So yeah, that was spectacular.
That was scary. Now the yellow flags are out once again. Then in the final couple of
KTM here,
a couple of years ago, second,
pushing
wasn't
Mark
it?
all the way, like with pressure, was very impressive, and that was before the KTM was at the level of competitiveness it is now.
That was that race, wasn't it? Where, do you remember there was just that few spots of rain started?
Obviously, this is one of Miguel's.
Yeah, already 0.8 of a second quicker this afternoon on Oliveira than he was this morning. So, championship chase. There was Nadia Padovani, of course, the boss of the Gresini team. She'll be liking what she sees so far, because Fabio Di Gianantonio, this man who certainly falls into the category of riding for his MotoGP future right now with all kinds of gossip.
Fabio's had a tough time in general, you know, and you're right, he's fighting for his career, and it's great to see him fight back and have a good one. I hope it keeps going and he has a good result Saturday, Sunday. Yeah,
he said yesterday, I saw him.
And also, I want to send big hugs to Lucio, because, Matt, he's had a tough couple of years, you know, not his fault. He's putting it all together, the team, and doing a good job of it, but because just right now the Honda's
through at turn number 5, yellow flags are back out again in sector 3. You saw there on the screens just confirmation that Ralph Fernandez and Taka Nakagami after their very fast crashes. Nakagami going into turn 11, Ralph Fernandez when he was well out of 11.
Yeah, then just comes back into line, pushes his butt up in the air, which throws all your weight onto the front, then threatens to push the front. Proper scary.
That's the third big scare that we've seen on camera, at least, that Marc Marquez has had today.
Way he's not happy with, you know. Like,
maybe he was just reminding us what position he's been on his last 11 visits to the Saxon Ring, P1.
Well, that's what I thought it was. What could it be? He hurt the other fingers in the wobble.
Martin, it wasn't quite the rear tyre in the air as it was on the previous time, but
the previous time,
adding to that tricky braking zone, Sam, as you mentioned, when there's so much weight being chucked onto that front tyre as well. That's why you can see the guys. They have so many front end washouts going into that first corner.
You can really see from that shot the uphill coming out of the last two.
We just mentioned it was a very difficult weekend for Augusto Fernandez in Italy, but the team were really, really happy, because they said he didn't give up, he didn't get frustrated and throw the bike to the scenery. He just plodded on, got the job done, gained knowledge, gained experience, and just over 6.5 tenths away from Jorge Martin in P1. The Factory Ducati boys are having a real good sort of 30 seconds or so, because, as we suspected, Enea Bastianini does fire himself of the day, and he's making it count, isn't he? Lose a bit of time in the third sector. At the moment, Miller down in 14th place, just over half a second away from top spot. Surely, though, this will be good enough for the top 10. It may well be the quickest time of the day. Going through turn 12, going into turn number 11. Let's have a quick check on where we sit right now before it does get really frenetic at the end of this session. Johann Zarco, the quickest man this morning. This man who we're looking at now in pit lane, ready to go for his final remark.
If they're mired back, you know, they've got a V4 stopping and starting in front of them. They can't throw, can't do the lap time, and their races are ruined. So it really, I mean, their lap time is not bad. You know, it's competitive. But if they're further back, they can't do the lap time in the race.
So he's going to lose it over the crest, losing the front. Zarco's coming out the pit lane here. Watch this, and now this is going to be sickening.
He misses his foot.
Oh, he just rips the front end out. Yeah. Totally rips the front end out of Zarco's Ducati.
And we can get over that.
Yeah, I mean, Simon, you've got to take into account that the forces of the impact there to rip out the front.
They're not, obviously, you know, what we've just seen, they're not as strong or as forgiving as the aluminium in an accident, but they just perform and set up that I spotted, and it wasn't going to plan really, wasn't it? He had a few scares.
He did. Yellow flags have been withdrawn then, so we can crack on here. 30 seconds remaining. Jack, a very, very quick update on a very shaken Zarco, I'm sure. Yeah, he digs really deep. Look at that. He is so pumped, so full of adrenaline. Nearly breaks the screen on that Factory Aprilia as he gives it a whack. A 123. What a dramatic P2 session that was here in the Saxon.
Berikut, jadwal lengkap, seri MotoGP Jerman 2023. Jumat, tanggal 16 Juni tahun 2023. Pukul 15.45 sampai pukul 16.30 waktu Indonesia Barat, fp1, MotoGP. Pukul 20 sampai pukul 21 waktu Indonesia Barat, fp2 MotoGP. Sabtu, tanggal 17 Juni tahun 2023. Pukul 15.10 sampai pukul 15.40 waktu Indonesia Barat, FP MotoGP. Pukul 15.50 sampai pukul 16.05 waktu Indonesia Barat, kualifikasi 1 MotoGP. Pukul 16.15 sampai pukul 16.30 waktu Indonesia Barat, kualifikasi 2 MotoGP. Pukul 20 waktu Indonesia Barat, sprint race MotoGP. Minggu, tanggal 18 Juni tahun 2023. Pukul 14.45 sampai pukul 14.55 waktu Indonesia Barat, warm up MotoGP. Pukul 19 waktu Indonesia Barat, race MotoGP.